Calvin had been invisible on the 22nd floor for 3 years, but today, something in the building had shifted, and he was the only one who knew why. The meeting in the conference room ran long. Dana brought water in at 10 a.m. and came back to the reception desk looking slightly confused. She couldn't say why. Just a feeling. The visitor in the charcoal suit had thanked her in a way that felt formal. Deliberate, like someone used to rooms where every word carries weight. At 10:40, Whitmore came out alone. His energy was different. Not dramatically. Whitmore was a man practiced at performing confidence, but to someone paying attention, the tells were there. He stood at Dana's desk longer than necessary. He checked his phone twice in 30 seconds. He straightened his cufflinks. These were the movements of a man recalibrating something internally while trying to look like he wasn't. He walked the hall, found Calvin near the far copy room, replacing a liner in the waste bin. Whitmore stopped. He looked at Calvin with the particular expression of a man who has had a slightly unsettling morning and needs to re-establish the natural order of his world. "You missed a spot," Whitmore said, gesturing vaguely at the baseboard near the window. "Right there. You can see it from my office doorway." Calvin looked at the baseboard. There was no spot. He looked back at Whitmore. "I'll take care of it," Calvin said. Quiet, steady. Whitmore waited, for what, he couldn't have said. For something that confirmed the hierarchy. For the small performance of deference that usually came. Calvin had already turned back to his cart. Whitmore stood there one beat longer than was comfortable. Then left. Dana had watched the exchange from the far end of the hall. She looked at Calvin. Calvin met her eyes briefly. Said nothing, but something in his expression, not anger, not defeat, something older and more patient than either, made Dana feel like she was seeing a man she hadn't fully seen before. The visitor in the charcoal suit had not left the building. He had gone to the lobby. Was sitting in one of the chairs near the window, not on his phone, not reading. Just sitting, waiting, the way trained people wait, completely still, completely alert, expending nothing unnecessarily. The security guard at the front desk had tried to make small talk. The visitor had smiled politely and returned to his stillness. At 11:15, Calvin came down on the service elevator with his cart. He crossed the lobby. The visitor stood up. They walked toward each other. They stopped. And then the visitor, who Calvin had not seen in 2 years, not since the ceremony in Washington, reached out his hand, and Calvin took it, and the visitor said, "Command asked me to come personally. We wanted to make sure you heard it from someone who was there." Calvin nodded slowly. "When?" he said. "Ceremony is in 3 weeks, the visitor said. They're going to need you in dress uniform." Calvin was quiet for a moment. Dana, who had come down to the lobby for coffee and had frozen near the cart, heard those 2 words. Dress uniform. She looked at Calvin, at the blue-collared shirt with the name stitched above the pocket. At the man she had said good morning to every day for 3 years without knowing. Then the visitor reached into his jacket. The lobby went silent.